Alexandra brought the holy man in to see the prince, the little boy lay in bed suffering excruciating pain from massive internal bleeding. An early silent movie reenacts the historic event. Alexandra remained convinced that Rasputin had saved her son's life. But to this day, how Rasputin performed this seeming miracle remains a source of intense controversy.
The biggest mystery for us in Rasputin's life is how did he heal Alexis? Some people have suggested he did it through hypnosis. Some people suggested it was coincidence. None of these theories is convincing. None of them explains, for example, how it is possible that for 10 years, 12 years indeed, Rasputin always healed Alexis.
Believing Rasputin possessed the healing powers of God himself, the Romanovs invited him into the family's inner circle. Yet when he ventured out into St. Petersburg, his bizarre behavior revealed a darker, more sinister side, marked by a voracious sexual appetite.
He concealed nothing, and he flaunted himself and his sexual escapades and his drunken escapades. Rasputin's approach, which sometimes went so far as when he met some woman that he desired, he would simply walk up to her and start unbuttoning her blouse.
There have been allegations that Rasputin thought that through sexual intercourse he could obtain salvation, or certainly grant salvation to his various followers. Ladies who surrounded him would call his bedroom the Holy of Holies and laugh as he led one after the other into the room and closed the doors behind him. It is said that one of the things that he used to whisper to his favorites was that he was not polluting them, but purifying them.
Rasputin's perverse behavior seriously damaged the credibility of the Romanov dynasty. But news from beyond Russia's borders would soon rock the monarchy to its very foundations. In August of 1914, Russia would be swept into the firestorm of World War I. As Russian casualties mounted at an alarming rate, Tsar Nicholas decided to take command of the imperial forces himself. With the Tsar far away at the front, Alexandra would come to rely more than ever on the mystical healer.
She thought God was speaking to the family through Rasputin. And when he said something, she took it seriously. So if he recommended that somebody be appointed to high office or somebody be fired from high office, Alexandra took that very seriously. And it is at that point that Rasputin becomes so influential.
In the feverish atmosphere of wartime Russia, rumors flew that Rasputin had cast a spell over Alexandra and was controlling all affairs of state. Even more damaging was scandalous gossip of palace orgies arranged by Rasputin and a passionate affair between Rasputin and the Tsarina herself. The gossip was whipped into a frenzy when Rasputin's enemies circulated a supposedly authentic love letter from Alexandra to Rasputin.
I only wish one thing: to fall asleep forever on your shoulders and in your arms. I ask for your holy blessing, and I am kissing your blessed hands. I love you forever, Alexandra.
Was the incriminating letter authentic or a forgery manufactured by their enemies? Some believe that Alexandra would have been incapable of such an illicit affair.
She certainly had too much dignity in her own royal rank to have succumbed to a common peasant. If Alexandra had wanted a lover, she certainly would have been able to find him amongst the ranks of the court or the guards.
So widely believed were the lurid rumors of an affair between Rasputin and Alexandra that the very monarchy was endangered. Rasputin was branded the Holy Devil, the Mad Monk, and accused of being a German spy sent to overthrow the Russian state. In the Yusupov Palace in St. Petersburg, members of the aristocracy became convinced that the only way to restore honor to the Romanov throne was to murder Rasputin. The man who would hatch the plot was Prince Felix Yusupov, a cousin of the Tsar himself. To this day, Yusupov's underlying motives remain a source of controversy.
Yusupov was one of the richest and most prestigious members of the Russian nobility. He was also a person of considerable emotional instability, with great doubts about his sexual identity.
I think he believed that he thought he would guarantee his place in history. I think he also undertook the murder as an act of revenge, though, perhaps for some kind of thwarted homosexual advance that Felix may have made towards Rasputin.
Yusupov lured Rasputin to his St. Petersburg palace and led him down these stairs into the basement. He then offered Rasputin a glass of Madeira wine and cream-filled pastries, the food and drink laced with enough cyanide to kill a number of men. To Yusupov's amazement, Rasputin was unharmed by the lethal dose of cyanide, an astonishing moment reenacted in this silent movie of the period. Unable to believe his eyes, Yusupov was convinced that Rasputin must be possessed by demons. Frantically, he pulled out a revolver and shot him. Certain the mad monk had breathed his last.
They're all terribly excited, you know, as it were, the wicked mad monk is dead. And then Yusupov goes down to take another look at the corpse. For whatever reason, we're not quite sure. He's leaning over the corpse, but the corpse opens his eyes and says, "You bad boy," and tries to strangle him. Yusupov, as you can imagine, gets quite disturbed, goes upstairs screaming again, "He's alive, he's alive."
With apparently superhuman strength, Rasputin not only rose to his feet, but staggered out to the palace courtyard. The conspirators would finally stop him with another salvo of bullets. Believing the Holy Devil to be dead at last, the conspirators threw Rasputin's body off the bridge into an icy river. An autopsy would later reveal the astonishing truth. Rasputin had survived both the cyanide and the gunshots. The official cause of his death was drowning.
If you ask what the biggest mystery about Rasputin is, my answer has to be there's so many mysteries I can't limit it to only one. His rise to power is a mystery. The nature of his power is a mystery. His hold over the royal family, although we can analyze it in scholarly and factual terms, ends up as a mystery. His death is a mystery.
Even after his murder, the legacy of Rasputin would continue to haunt the royal family. As news of Rasputin's murder spread throughout the land, the Russian people secretly rejoiced that the man they had branded the Holy Devil was dead at last. Tsarina Alexandra, however, was plunged into mourning. Perhaps her despair was deepened by a chilling prophecy Rasputin had reportedly written shortly before his death.
You must know this. If your relations bring about my death, then you and your family will die within 2 years. They will be killed by the Russian people. Gregory Rasputin.
Some scholars are convinced that Rasputin's alleged prophecy had a devastating effect on Alexandra.
Everyone who was close to her said that she had simply ceased to struggle against anything and was plainly waiting for the fulfillment of this prophecy. Being of a very fatalistic turn of mind to begin with, I'm sure that this set the seal on her pessimism.
Had Rasputin prophesied the violent events of the Russian Revolution? Living in isolation in the imperial palace, the royal couple could not have foreseen the upheaval soon to come.